So our position is, I think, very obvious. We really need hard investment in defense. Otherwise, we're going to compromise our own reputation. And actually, it's not only about capabilities, but also about perception. If we do not invest into hard defense and do it right now, it's going to get only more expensive in the years to come.
What is part of, there's also discussion about defense-related expenditures. What, according to your opinion, should be part of that?
Well, I agree that infrastructure is important. Expenses related to military mobility, to civil defense, they are, of course, part of the package. But if you do not have a strong army, if you do not have weapon systems, if you do not have what it needs to be done to ensure that NATO capability targets are met, and not in the next century, then everything else is redundant.
You mentioned yesterday 2032 is simply too late a deadline.
Yes.
I'm wondering what reception you got from other allies in the room.
Well, yesterday it was just, informal meetings about that, but today we are going to have a real discussion. So my question to my colleagues is that if we all trust our intelligence, if we trust NATO military intelligence, and they say that it's just a few years until Russia is going to be able to test NATO, then what are we going to do? Ask them for extension? Ask them to delay the deadline? This is not going to happen. So therefore, I'd like to hear the answers. What is then their plan?
But is it realistic to achieve those 5% until 2030?
Well, I think that what we have to all understand, that our actual capabilities, that our ability to defend our territory, to defend our economy, to defend our people is what matters. And I understand that it's very, very different what 5% is for Lithuania or for Estonia and what it is for Germany and for France. Different sort of economies. But also, when we talk about the size of economy, we have to think about the size of impact that is going to happen if Russia breaches our borders. I mean, it's not that only countries on the northern eastern border are going to be violated. It's going to hit very hard all the economies. And what Germany and France are experiencing right now is going to be, I don't know, cherry tree blossom compared to what is going to happen.
Why should countries like Italy or Spain worry about achieving those 5% until 2030 when we see now the slow progress the Russian army is doing in Ukraine? I mean, it will take decades until Spain and Italy might be concerned.
I think it's about 5 minutes additional time that we have when we talk about ballistic missiles, right?
What gaps does NATO have? Can you please explain?
Classified. But I think that we all understand that if we really want to ensure that Russia doesn't even think about breaching our borders, and they will probably expand their empire anyhow, but we turn somewhere else and not at NATO, then, as I said, we have to also see visibly the force that we have. And that means it has to get tougher, both in defense industry capabilities, both in our actual armed forces size, both in the number of different weapon systems that we need to have. And if it doesn't happen in the next couple of years, and God forbid, some interesting decisions would be made regarding sanctions for Russia or negotiations with Ukraine, then we may have not 3 to 5 years, but 2 to 3 years. And then are we going to gather here again and say, okay, we failed a bit, and then maybe we start learning Russian? So.